if my hips open up to the green line, which they have, so the hands came downwards. Absolutely no stalling of the hips there. The stalling of the hips is the killer. Absolute killer. But how do we get the hips to open in the first place then? So how do we initiate that move? Right, we're on. We're working on Ben Hogan today, page 92. Hogan says, the surest way to wreck the remarkable machinery is to start the downswing with the hands instead of with the hips. So starting the downswing with the hands instead of the hips ruins the machinery that is created in the backswing. That structure is ruined if we start with the hands. He continues, nearly all poor players do. By starting down with the hands, they kill their chance for a good shot there and then. They check the rotation of the hips, and if a golfer stops his hip rotation, he's bound to force the whole upper part of his body way outside the proper line. Committed then to bringing the club into the ball from the outside in, he almost invariably slices his shot, for his club has to cut across the proper line. So starting with the hands or with the upper body, with the hands, not the hips, we're going to cut across the golf ball, according to Hogan. If he doesn't slice, he pulls his shot far too left as he struggles to offset his usual error. If the average golfer will only start his downswing with the hips, what a world of difference this will make in his swing and his shots, not to mention his score. If the average golfer will only start his downswing with the hips, what a world of difference this will make to his swing and his shots, not to mention his score. So if we could start the downswing with our hips, we're going to improve our score and our shot making ability. Excellent idea. I've set my Eureka canes up to show you how the hips can start the downswing. If we get this, the hands fall into a slot. Hogan mentions that from the top of the swing, the hips start first. If the hips start first, the hands will come downwards and therefore less outwards, cutting across the golf ball to create the slice or the pull if the face is square to the path. Now ideally, we need to get top of swing, that mechanical motion that we've created, there, and then from there the hips to open up, which bring the hands down to the slot, and then from there, from here to here, here to here, there, we can hit as hard as we possibly want with the right hand. Mr. Hogan talks about wishing he had 3 right hands because he can apply 3 times the amount of power. So from that position to that position, you can be as aggressive as you like with the right hand. But you need to get into that position first. We need to get into that good position there first before we aggressively hit with the right hand. How do we do that? Well, Eureka Golf Swing, from the top, the hips open up to the feet line, and then from there the hands come down. So if the hips stall, as Hogan says, if the hips stall and don't turn, then the hands are going to go out towards the golf ball. I did a video last week about driver, talking about downswing. It's called downswing because it goes downwards. It's not called outswing. If the hips stall, then it is outswing, and we'll cut across. You want to feel as though you get the hips from there open to the feet line. So my feet are really open here. This is my shoulder line, this is my feet line. So my hips open to the feet line, the green cane, there, to ensure the hands come downwards. But that's purely driven by the hips opening up. So my hands are not going to go out towards the red cane, they're going to come down here if my hips open up to the green line, which they have, so the hands came downwards. Absolutely no stalling of the hips there. The stalling of the hips is the killer. Absolute killer. But how do we get the hips to open in the first place then? So how do we initiate that move? Mr. Hogan talks about the muscles in the left leg externally rotating, so the upper thigh does its job to get the left knee out of the way, and then the right knee drives itself towards the left knee. I'm going to give you a Eureka Golf Swing drill, which is going to give you the feeling of the hips opening up to the feet line a lot quicker. Now it's extreme, it's exaggerated, but this is what Eureka Golf Swing does. It helps us get into positions that Hogan and the greatest golfers got into. So every amateur can achievably reach these positions when they understand how the canes work. Now I'm going to take my feet line cane. On that last shot there, I got my hips to open up to my feet line, so therefore the club stayed behind me there because I got the hips to open first and hit pure little shots. But I'm going to exaggerate this. I'm going to move this cane halfway up and I'm going to open it even further. Now that is extreme. That does look ridiculous. And you can see how open my feet are now in relation to where they were before. I'm just going to clean my club. Sorry about that. We have standards on the channel, you know. Set up. Now look how open I am there. Now, from there, all I have to do to feel the hips opening up is slide towards target. So a lateral motion towards target. So there's standard setup. Now I'm in extreme Eureka setup. There. Now if I just slide towards target, my hips are going to open up because they're preset. They have to open up. They're preset, so I get the feeling of it, and then of course the club drops behind me or the hands do not go out towards the golf ball. My hips are here, square, there, and I slide towards target, then this is going to happen. That motion is going to happen, so that's going to happen. That looks a bit funky, we don't want that. If my hips are open, so extreme Eureka, my hips are already open, then if I slide them laterally towards target, they'll open more because it's preset. The left hip's getting out of the way of the right. Quite clever. There, now that is extreme. That's ridiculous, but that's what I want to do to set myself up. There, the backswing will be restricted, hip turn will be restricted, and shoulder turn will be restricted, but you'll feel the coil, you'll feel how the hips start first, so you'll feel the wind up of the upper half, slightly restricted, the bottom half will be really restricted, but then you'll feel how the hips go first. The hips will move before the hands. The hips will move before the hands. They have to. All I'm doing here, from there, is slide my hips towards target. Look how they've opened up. I've not tried to open them. I've just slid towards target. There. There. Sliding towards target. Woo! Those three balls are right on top of each other. They are very close to each other. I'm going to do one more. Then I'm going to move the camera just a little bit above for a view above. In fact, I'll overlay that on this video just now, so there you go, you can see that, you can see how open the cane is in relation to where it was before. So now I'm set again, there, and then I'm just sliding towards target with the hips. I'm getting the hips to slide towards target before the hands do anything, and of course that's opening up my hips. You can see some left bum cheek there, you can see the right hip's gone out towards golf ball. There, and the hands have stayed quiet. There we go. That's right on top of them again. That's impressive. Perhaps just even golfing like that. Then of course Eureka Golf Swing, we reduce that, but still get the sensation. But that's the drill to try. If you want to be like Hogan, that's the way to do it. Hogan mentions this will, and I quote, will make a world of difference to your golf swing. It says that if the average golfer will only start his downswing with his hips, what a world of difference this will make to his swing and his shots, not to mention his score. Right, it's getting a bit wet now. I've dodged the showers. I'm going to hit a couple face on so you can see how all I do from there is slide my hips towards the camera, and look how open they are now. They're marrying up with the green cane, yet my club's continuing out towards its intended target. There, there. Another one. I'm going to hit one more, then I'm going to go up there and show you how close these golf balls are before we finish. Set on, up, hips to target, lateral slide, but that gives me the sensation and the feeling of the hips opening up. It's so easy. There we go, all within 2 or 3 yards of each other. There we are, so that shows you that if we get the hips to open up and keep the hands quiet, how pure ball striking can be. And Hogan absolutely nailed it. Hogan was way ahead of his time with these sort of things, with all instruction in my opinion, and we can learn so much from him. Get your body open, get the hips to open up, the hands will then do their thing. The hands are passive, they're quiet until you get to here, then from there the right hand hits it hard. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for hitting the thumbs up button, and thanks for hitting the bell notification.